Oh, bojo, magazi dodem, o wiro kaza bajgot indigenous kaz, wasak sing na dunji, yewain zibi na dunjaba, jaman mak parwad mean down. I'd like to say greetings to our honored guests and to our friends and our human family here. That it is an honor to be here and to greet each of you from my territory to your territory, from our waters to your waters. And then what unites all of us are the winds that allow us to breathe. And this is something that for each of us, that there's many things that we acknowledge that unites each of us. And so those are things I believe that are the reason why we gather here, and the issues that we're about to speak about. So some of the things that oh, this one off. Okay, here we go. So my name translates to one who helps, and so I'm a ceremonial leader. I'm also a spiritual leader, and for myself, the nations I come from are the Potawatomi Nation, which are the keepers of the fire, and Jamandamuk, which we describe as people with excellent memories. Those are the two dialect families of what is known today as the Ojibwe Nation, which is one of the larger nations in Canada and probably one of the third largest nations in the Americas. For myself, I've been a seer most of my life, and our family is responsible for the Thunderbird calendar and also for the prophecies. For myself and Mark, we've been married for over 25 years, and we have a very big family. and and we also I'm also as well with involved with a lot of academies as well. I'm not a professor, but for myself, for my own upbringing is the Indigenous knowledge. One of the calendars we carry. This is a Thunderbird calendar. This is a 500 million year calendar. And we have other calendars, when you put them together, they're billions of years of time. So when we talk about science, um, for us, this is when we talk about our knowledge and how knowledge was passed on, that 100% was a pass. It was not 50% or 60%. So to be an expert in a particular knowledge or a particular system, that the idea was that you were an expert in that particular area. When we look at our knowledge systems, they are based on the laws of creation. So for us, they're based upon the earth. And for us as Anishinaabe people, this is how we describe a human being. So in our language, there's many different definitions. So one of the first ones that we're describing for each of us is Anishinaabe. The other description is that they also describe us as water beings. So for us, we have many different creation stories, and this is why I mention this, is our story alone is about 65 million years. And so for us as a human species, that it has taken a long time for us to exist how we are today. So when we talk about, for us, we have many different types of laws. We have great laws, universal laws, natural laws, and tribal laws. And one of our great laws is describing that life is sacred. And for us, our ancestors, Nenwabe is described as a fourth dimensional being. And why this is significant to the time that we're in today, that these beings exterminated themselves. that their intelligence and their technology was so far advanced that sadly they wiped themselves off the planet. And so this was one of the things that our elders spoke about. What we needed to learn was not to duplicate what they did. So this was something that we talk about, is that we are spiritual beings first, and this is something that we are to include in the work that we do. And this is something that for us, when we talk about science, when we talk about technology, that we need to include our spirituality. And these are the mistakes that our ancestors had made, that they did not include these things. And sadly, this became a consequence. And so we talk about how many of the things today that we use actually come from the Americas. The foods, the medicines, a lot of the things that we use, the pharmaceutical things we use today, come from the Americas. For us, we have a holistic way of thinking, that for us, we all have a spirit and a body, a mind, and all these things, when we live outside of these laws, that this is where we see the consequence. And this is climate change. That for us, when we begin to see the consequences, that for us, we're really seeing them today. So this means we need to change. And this is something, that for us, especially in Canada, that we have a history that sadly has really set our people back. Meaning that we're usually, I would say, about 10 steps behind, when we talk about Western society. And to have access to things, sadly, our people don't know. And so the mechanisms for our people to make those advancements are very difficult to do. And this is one of the harder things, is a lot of the policies that are being developed, based on the TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Sadly, these policies are failing. And these are the issues we're facing today, is, well, how do you address these things? And so some of the fallbacks is obviously capitalism, that for us, when we talk about capitalism, that sadly, a lot of our people don't believe in those concepts, and have not believed in these concepts, for a very long time. So this is where we really need to change. And that for us, when we talk about, we do not want to be part of, capitalism, but yet we have a greater human family around the world. How do we still participate in that? And so those have been the questions we've been asking, especially with the TRC and ONDRIP, that it's really made us question as to, okay, what is our own economic reconciliation? How are we to achieve these things today? And so these are some of the things that we speak about, is minimum, a good way of life. And so for us, this is one of our major philosophies, one of our major principles is this. And so for us, how we decided, because a lot of our people went through the residential school, and we have generations that sadly don't know who they are. And so we are realizing that we have to educate not only Indigenous people, but we also have to educate non-Indigenous people as well. So for us, we've been having to re-educate and how to live within these laws again. So for us, we talk about a code of life. That's for us how you're able to achieve minal bamadzawin. That for us, we always are amazed that, these are very simple principles. However, you try to live them. It's a very difficult thing to do. And so for us, we like to honor each other, and we want to honor people's nationhood and their communities and their language and things that make them who they are. And the bigger questions is, how do you do that? Well, you need to have good relations. And so for us, this is one of our oldest belts. Well, it's not one of the oldest belts, but it's one of the belts in our territory that we talk about. And this is the dish with one spoon. And there's many other different wampum belts that are made amongst Indigenous nations. And these are, one, to establish peace, but also to maintain resources. It talks about sustainability. And our people have been doing this for thousands of years. For my family, we have had a hereditary system for a long time, and we've been very fortunate to know, we have made treaties with, the Americas. We used to travel to South and Central America. So for us, to have these treaties, we've had them for a very long time. So just quickly, I got a few things that I'm very passionate about, and one is research. I've been a researcher for over 25 years now. And one of the things in our area about 25 years ago was that we didn't have no turkeys. And so we said, there's turkeys down in New York State. And we're like, well, let's try and reintroduce them. So we got a grant, and that's what we did. And so about 25 years ago, we reintroduced turkeys into our area, and now they're still there. It's amazing as to, So I mention this because for me, this is the potential of research. That it can have hope. You might not see it right away, but it's definitely something you can see later. One of the partners that we have in Canada is Grand Challenges Canada, and this is for us how when we talk about the work we're doing nationally, that this is one of our partners who are able to help us do the work that we're doing. So this is one of my other projects that I'm very passionate about, and this is the Indigenous Innovation Initiative, or what we describe as I3. That the hope is that we're able to help innovators across the country. And right now, we fund entrepreneurs and businesses and innovators from 100,000 to 250,000. And so the hope is that we can continue this initiative and be able to help communities and our people to be able to help their communities with their ideas. Like I said, one of the hardest things for us in our communities is to have an economy and to have access to funds. So this for us, we've been piloting. Raven Indigenous Capital is one that helps us with these ideas. And so when we talk about outcome funds, there's one that is right now that they're targeting for 50 million. So the hope is that we can fundraise that, and it's to address climate change and health. So this is the hope, is that to honor that all life is sacred. And this is for us when we talk about the 7 generations, that it's your DNA that will last in the soil for 7 generations. So you are responsible for your own life and what you put into your body. And so we talk about that type of teaching and thinking ahead, and making sure that for us, when you talk about good health, that you're always thinking 7 generations ahead. And for us, when we talk about the time that we're in, one of the things that we're responsible for are those next generations. And that's what this A prophecy talks about. We are in a time that we are to empower each other. We are also to empower our future generations. And this is what we talk about, is to ensure good health and to ensure long life and to ensure peace of mind. And this is for us when we talk about these prophecies, that it talks about this is the time that we're in right now, that the earth is in crisis and that we need to come together as leaders and be able to help our human family. So for us, I'm very thankful, to be here. That for us, we have many needs. That as elders and knowledge keepers, that we do need help with education, and we do need help with educational spaces. So I'd like to say a Gitchimi Gwetch, a big thank you for listening. Thank you.